Sorry, people. I know that's really close. I was checking. I was trying to fix something. I hit live. Okay. There we go. Adjusting. Making my adjustments. Beautiful people. Top of the day. Top of the day. Betwabu. Betwabu. That's what y'all. Tomorrow is the last day of first. I'm sorry, Second Samuel. Tiffany, hey girl, hey. Betwabu, yeah, Betwabu. All right, y'all. I would like to say something. Let's see, I'm gonna find my place first. I ain't gonna run my mouth that much. I'm just gonna say something. Yes, girl. Water fasting does the most for your body. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. I was watching my face and I was like, oh, it's clearing up. It's clearing up. So every day I get a little more encouragement just to keep going. I'm on day 25 of my water only fast without putting anything in my body. And one thing that I'm extremely excited about is this pain in my buttocks from the performance the performance muscle is right in the middle of your butt. Oh my gosh, that's next to non-existent now. It's like normal. I don't have to like lay across the bed for about 20 minutes till the pain go away. It's so amazing. I want to cry. Oh my gosh. Yes. So, but look, I thought Trina was gonna pop in. She'll probably pop in a second now. But y'all, and for everybody that's gonna tune in later and watch this, do not be afraid of the coronavirus. They are super hyping this thing up in the media. For one, let me just put this out here if y'all ain't noticed. Ain't no black people catching this, right? And I'm a couple weeks ago, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, Father, is it just me? Well, ain't no black people catching this. And the first black person that caught it, who was in China, who they say caught it, I went through and I read the whole thing. He had no symptoms whatsoever. Like the article said that they diagnosed him with the coronavirus, a man from Africa, but he had no symptoms whatsoever. They say he fully recovered. I'm like, how did he fully recover? He had no symptoms at all. How did you even diagnose him? So I guess they checking for temperatures. Morning, Auntie Trina. Hey, girl, hey. So what they doing, they checking your temperature. If you got even in a slight temperature, remember your body temperature can change when you eat hot food. So if you just finish eating some hot food or something, I ain't saying that the whole little process of checking people is wrong. I ain't saying I don't know. I'm not a medical professional. But what I'm saying is there are a lot of things that can change your body temperature and cause your body temperature to be elevated. But ain't no black people catching this, y'all. Y'all need to be afraid. Just continue practicing the clean habits. Now, what I will say is, because I personally think that this is one of the plagues that are returning. I just spoke to Trina about this a few minutes ago. We know, as a black people, there were a lot of injustices that have been done for us. And we know that Yah said that he's going to fight for us. We know that we are at the fullness of time of the Gentiles, so to speak. We know that we're coming. People call it the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. The world is never going to end. The Bible never says that the world is going to end. In all cultures, even in their religion, none of them ever say that the world is ever going to end. It's just the end of the age. There's going to be a shifting in those who rule. Now, if you've been paying attention, you will see some of this stuff as our people begin to rise and climb in different industries. Like, oh, go ahead, sis. We got a first black nuclear engineer. Oh, snap. We got a black woman, the CEO of FedEx. Oh, go, sis. Yes. Like all this stuff. Pay attention to all these little things as Yahuwah he's restoring his people and he's weeding out the people whom he thinks should be weeded out. Now, here's the beautiful thing about this. I ain't saying the coronavirus is beautiful. I'm not saying it's absolutely horrible. But what I'm saying is, to me personally, looks to me like it's one of them plagues of Egypt. Now, you got to realize, go back, you probably should get familiar seeing that we are coming up on Passover. I would say to everybody, all you who is people, and even if you don't really know how it works, I would say begin keeping the commands. Because those who keep his commands are being kept. You know, I ain't saying I don't know. Because Yahuwah did say that during this time that he himself would personally deal with his people. Now, there's blood-born biological people in the lineage of King David. That's black folk. You know, not all black folk come from the lineage of King David. But, you know, his people, those who, the slaves here, you know, that we all know who we're talking about. The descendants of the transatlantic slave trade. We know who we're talking about. Us. Yahuwah is going to keep us. And those who are off doing things and not doing those things they should be doing, Yah's going to deal with you. He's going to deal with you in his own time. But we know that he's directly going to deal with our captors. And this right here looks like one of those things. Although some things kill off more people, but they're super hyping this up. But we know that this is like a specific virus that's going after specific people. It ain't coming after our people, if you're paying attention. So I ain't no need to be scared, but I will say keep the commands and practice good hygiene. You're time to get real familiar with them Levitical laws and those eating laws, because one thing that will compromise your immune system is eating those things that we should not be eating. Pork, all those things that we shouldn't eat. All unclean foods, because it does compromise your immune system. So I would say keep the commandments as much as possible. As much as you know to keep them. And even in your ignorance, like, I don't know, just alert me if I'm about to do something wrong. If I don't know, just alert me, hey, stop. You might want to look into that. Because he has stopped me a many times when I was ignorant and didn't know. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that we weren't supposed to do that. Like, seriously, he's faithful. So just keep the commands. Oh my gosh, my mouth is so dry, y'all. Keep the commands, and he will keep us. So I wouldn't be afraid, be freaking out people out here buying up all the toilet paper and stuff. Now, I did go buy toilet paper yesterday simply because we were down to like 6 rolls. And when I was, I saw something, I said, what's going on with the toilet paper? I'm like, Lord, let me go ahead and get some for my house before all these people go out here and buy up all the darn toilet paper. I mean, I don't mind. It's a convenience, but if we ran out of it, we just use soap and water. Ain't no big thing. But I'm just saying, I went out and got 3 big things just in case. Just because I got a big family, we go through toilet paper like people drink, like black folk drink Kool-Aid. So I'm just saying. But y'all, don't be afraid. There's a lot of scary stuff being put out there, and people is freaking out, especially our people. Our people right now should be sitting back, eating popcorn, standing by, and watching the salvation of our Lord. Like, seriously. So, calm down, folks. Calm down. Follow his commands. Practice clean habits like he told us to. Like, matter of fact, if you look into the bubonic plague, right? Granted, the Jewish people, when they had the bubonic plague, they was like, was it the black plague? One of them, it was the black plague or bubonic plague. But the Jewish people, those who were actually practicing and keeping the Levitical laws, they realized, and they didn't test it, but they did a study, but they began to notice that none of the people that followed those Levitical laws, none of them got sick. Like, that plague did not touch them. That says a lot. So keep y'all's commands. Y'all know a lot of people, they being taught they was done away with saved by grace. You go with that. I'm telling you, I'm keeping these. I'm gonna keep these physically as much as I know to do, because I understand how the body works. I understand how diseases work. You can keep on saying, I'm saved by grace. Keep on eating your pork chop. Keep on eating your pork chop. Because if you read back here in the book that we're reading through that most people don't read, you will see that Yahuwah said, in that day, I'm going to get my people. He said, I'm going to correct my people. He said, and I'm going to get those that, what it says, I'm going to sum it up. He said, those that profess, what's it? I'm going to find it today, and then I'm going to post it here under here so y'all see what I'm talking about. I'm going to sum it up. He said, I'm going to chastise my people, and those that profess me that are still eating, what did it say? Those that hide behind a tree eating, I'm going to get them just like those that eat the mouse. I'm like, So basically, those that, oh, bless the Lord, this, we saved by grace, but you still eating a pork chop? Yeah, he talking about you, because you ain't supposed to be putting that in your body, defiling yourself. That one's for you. You eating pork chops, talking about you saved by grace. Yep, that scripture coming right for you. And it's time. You better stop it. I'm telling you. You ain't just saved by grace. The new covenant is, he said, I will take my laws and I will write them on their hearts. It ain't done away with. That's what he said all the way through and through. He said, my new covenant will be not like I gave to their ancestors, where I wrote it on tablets of stone. But my new covenant will be that I will take those same commandments and I will write them on their hearts. Why? Because now it will be in us, and not just, oh, let's go read what Yah said. What he said will actually be in us, in our hearts, and our hearts will compel us to do what's right. So, all right, I've ran my mouth enough for today. Now for the reading. It is Thursday, March the 12th, 2020, day 95. We're reading 2 Samuel 19, 20, and 21. Tomorrow, y'all, is our last day of reading 2 Samuel, then we start in the book of Kings. All right, so 2 Samuel chapter 19. All right. And it was told Joab, behold, the king weepeth and mourneth for Absalom, and the victory that day was turned into mourning unto all the people. For the people heard say that day how the king was grieved for his son. And the people got them by stealth that day into the city, as people being ashamed steal away when they flee in battle. But the king covered his face, and the king cried with a loud voice, O my son Absalom, O Absalom, my son, my son. And Joab came into the house to the king and said, Thou hast shamed this day the faces of all thy servants, which this day have saved thy life, and the lives of thy sons and of thy daughters, and the lives of thy wives, and the lives of thy concubines, and that thou lovest thine enemies, and hatest thou thy friends. For thou hast declared this day that thou regardest neither princes nor servants. Excuse me. For this day I perceive that if Absalom had lived, and all we had died this day, then it had pleased thee well. Now therefore arise, go forth, and speak comfortable unto thy servants. For I swear by Yahuwah, if thou not go forth, there will not tarry one of thee in this night, and that will be worse unto thee than all the evil befell thee from thy youth unto now. I'm like, who are you to talk to the king like this? Boy, Joab would have took his last breath right there. Then the king arose and sat in the gate, and they told unto all the people, saying, Behold, the king doth sit in the gate. And all the people came before the king, for Israel had fled every man to his tent. And all the people were at strife throughout all the tribes of Israel, saying, The king saved us out of the hand of our enemies, and he delivered us out of the hand of the Philistines. And now he is fled out of the land for Absalom. And Absalom, whom we anointed over us, is dead in battle. Now therefore why speak ye not a word of bringing the king back? And King David sent to Zadok and to Abiathar the priest, saying, Speak unto the elders of Judah, saying, Why are ye last to bring the king back to his house, saying, The speech of all Israel is come to the king, even to his house. Ye are my brethren, ye are my bones and my flesh. Wherefore then are ye at last to bring back the king? And say ye to Amasa, Art thou not my bone and my flesh? Y'all do so to me, and more also, if thou be not captain of the host before me continually in the room of Joab. And he bowed the heart of all the men of Judah, and even as the heart of one man, so all they sent this word unto the king, Return thou and all thy servants. So the king returned and came to Jordan, and Judah came to Gilgal to go to meet the king and conduct the king over Jordan. And Shimei, the son of Gera, a Benjamite, was with Bahurim, hasted and came down with the men of Judah to meet King David. And there were 1,000 men of Benjamin with him, and Ziba, the servant of the house of Saul, and his 15 sons, and 20 servants with him. And they went over Jordan before the king. And there went over a ferry boat to carry over the king's household, and to do what he thought good. And Shimei, the son of Gera, fell down before the king as he was come over Jordan, and said unto the king, Let not my lord impute iniquity unto me, neither do thou remember that thou servant did perversely the day that my lord the king went out of Jerusalem, that the king should take it to his heart. For thy servant doth know that I have sinned. Therefore, behold, I am come the first day of all the house of Joseph to go down to meet my lord the king. But Abishai the son of Zeruiah answered and said, Shall not Shimei be put to death for this, because he cursed the Lord's anointed? And David said, What have I to do with you, ye sons of Zeruiah, that ye should this day be adversaries unto me? There shall any man be put to death this day. Shall there any man be put to death this day in Israel? For do not I know that I am this day king over all of Israel? Therefore the king said unto Shimei, Thou shalt not die. And the king sware unto him. And Mephibosheth, the son of Saul, came down to meet the king, and had neither dressed his feet, nor trimmed his beard, nor washed his clothes from the day the king departed until the day he came again in peace. And it came to pass, when he was come to Jerusalem to meet the king, that the king said unto him, Wherefore wentest not thou with me, Mephibosheth? And he answered, My lord, O king, my servant deceived me. For thy servant said, I will saddle me an ass, that I may ride thereon, and go to the king, because thy servant is lame. And he hath slandered thy servant unto my lord the king. But my lord the king is as an angel of God. Do therefore what is good in thine eyes. For all of my father's house were but dead men before my lord the king. Yet didst thou set thy servant among them that did eat at thine own table. What right therefore have I yet to cry any more unto the king? And the king said unto him, Why speakest thou any more of thy matters? I have said, Thou and Ziba divide the land. And Mephibosheth said unto the king, Yea, let him take all, for as much as my lord the king is come again in peace unto his own house. And Barzillai the Gadiite came down from Rogelim, and went over Jordan with the king to conduct him over Jordan. Now Barzillai was a very aged man, even 80 years old, and he had provided the king of sustenance while he lay at Mahanaim, for he was a very great man. And the king said unto Barzillai, Come thou over with me, and I will feed thee with meat in Jerusalem. And Barzillai said unto the king, How long have I to live, that I should go up with the king unto Jerusalem? And I am this day 80 years old. Remember, 80 is 80 years old, or score is 20. So 80, 20, 40, 60, 80. It's 80 years. He was 80 years old. And can I discern between good and evil? Can thy servant taste what I eat or what I drink? Can I hear any more the voice of singing of men and singing women? Wherefore then should thy servant be yet a burden unto my lord the king? Thy servant will go a little way over Jordan with the king. And why should the king recompense me with such a reward? Let thy servant, I pray thee, turn back again, that I may die in my own city, and be buried by the grave of my father and of my mother. But behold, thy servant Kimham, let him go over with my lord the king, and do to him what shall seem good unto thee. And the king answered, Chimham shall go over with me, and I will do to him that which shall seem good unto thee, and whatsoever thou shalt require of me, that will I do for thee. And all the people went over Jordan, and when the king was come over, the king kissed Barzillai and blessed him, and he returned unto his own place. Then the king went on to Gilgal, and Kimham went on with him, and all the people of Judah conducted the king, and also half of the people of Israel. And behold, all the men of Israel came to the king and said unto the king, Why have our brethren, the men of Judah, stolen thee away, and have brought the king and his household, and all David's men with him over Jordan? And all the men of Judah answered the men of Israel, Because the king is near of kin to us. Wherefore then be ye angry for this matter? Have we eaten at all of the king's cost, or hath he given us any gift? And the men of Israel answered the men of Judah and said, We have 10 parts in the king, and we have also more right in David than ye. Why then did ye despise us, that our advice should not be first had in bringing us back to our king? And the words of the men of Judah were fiercer than the words of the men of Israel. 2 Samuel chapter 20. And there happened to be there a man of Belial, whose name was Sheba, the son of Bichri, a Benjamite, and he blew a trumpet and said, We have no part in David, neither have we inheritance in the son of Jesse, every man to his tent, so Israel. So every man of Israel went up from after David and followed Sheba the son of Bichri, but the men of Judah clave unto their king from Jordan even unto Jerusalem. So we can even kind of see a split going on here. Remember when King Solomon was king, Yahuwah told him that during his son's reign, Rehoboam and Jeroboam, his son, I believe it was Rehoboam, it was split during his time, and Israel, Israel and Judah were split. So we can kind of see that going on now just a little bit, although it's going to happen many years later where they became two kingdoms, and they were divided into the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. And remember, the northern kingdom was the 10 tribes of Israel, and the southern kingdom was called Judah, which consisted of Israel and which consisted of the tribe of Judah and the tribe of Benjamin with some Levites sprinkled in, because remember, all the Levites were sprinkled out within each tribe because they were the priests. They were the ordained priests that were offering sacrifices. So each tribe had some Levites within their tribe to, serve in that office. And David came to his house at Jerusalem, and the king took the 10 women, his concubines, whom he had left to keep the house, and put them in ward, and fed them, but went not in unto them. So they were shut up unto the day of their death, living in widowhood. Then said the king to Amasa, assemble me the men of Judah within 3 days, and be thou here present. So Amasa went to assemble the men of Judah, but he tarried longer than the set time which he had appointed them. And David said to Abishai, now shall Sheba the son of Bichri do us more harm than did Absalom. Take thou thy Lord's servants and pursue after him, lest he get him fenced cities and escape us. And there went out after him Joab's men, and the Cherethites, and the Pelethites, and all the mighty men, and they went out of Jerusalem to pursue after Sheba the son of Bichri. And when they were at the great stone, which is in Gibeon, Amasa went before them, and Joab's garment that he had put on was girded unto him, and upon it was a girdle with a sword fastened upon his loins, and the sheath thereof, as he went forth, it fell out. And Joab said to Amasa, art thou in health, my brother? And Joab took Amasa by the beard with his right hand to kiss him. But Amasa took no heed to the sword that was in Joab's hand, so he smote them therewith in the 5th rib, and shed out his bowels to the ground, and struck him not again, and he died. So Joab and Abishai his brother pursued after Sheba the son of Bichri. And one of Joab's men stood by and said, he that favoreth Joab, and he that is for David, let him go after Joab. And Amasa wallowed in blood in the midst of the highway. And when the men saw that all the people stood still, he removed Amasa out of the highway into the field, and cast a cloth upon him. And when he saw that everyone came by him, stood still. When he was removed out of the highway, all the people went over after Joab to pursue after Sheba the son of Bichri. And when he went through all the tribes of Israel unto Abel, and to Beth-Maachah, and all the Beerites, and they were gathered together, and went also after him. And they came and besieged him in Abel of Beth-Maachah, and they cast up a bank against the city, and it stood in the trench. And all the people that were with Joab battered the wall to throw it down. Then cried a wise woman out of the city, hear, hear. Say, I pray you unto Joab, come hither, that I may speak with thee. And when he was come near unto her, the woman said, art thou Joab? And he answered, I am he. Then she said unto him, hear the words of thy handmaid. And he answered, I do hear. Then she spake, saying, they were wont to speak in old times, saying, they shall surely ask counsel at Abel. And so they ended the matter. I am one of them that are peaceable and faithful in Israel. Thou seekest to destroy a city and a mother in Israel. Why wilt thou swallow up the inheritance of Yahuwah? And Joab answered and said, far be it from me that I shall swallow up or destroy. The matter is not so. But a man of Mount Ephraim, Sheba the son of Bichri by name, have lifted up his hand against the king, even against David. Deliver him only, and I will depart from the city. And the woman said unto Joab, behold, his head shall be thrown down to thee over the wall. And the woman went into all the people in her wisdom, and they cut off the head of Sheba the son of Bichri, and cast it out to Joab, and he blew a trumpet, and they retired from the city, every man to his tent. and Joab returned to Jerusalem unto the king. Now Joab was over all the hosts of Israel, and Benaiah the son of Jehoiada was over the Chethrites and over the Pelethites, and Adoram was over the tribute, and Jehoshaphat the son of Elihu was a recorder, and Sheva was scribe, and Zadok and Abiathar were the priests, and Ira also the Jerite was chief ruler about David. Last chapter for today, 2 Samuel chapter 21. Then there was a famine in the days of David, 3 years, year after year, and David inquired of Yahuwah, and Yahuwah answered, It is for Saul and for his bloody house, because he slew the Gibeonites. And the king called the Gibeonites and said unto them, Now the Gibeonites were not of the children of Israel, but a remnant of the Ammonites, and the children of Israel had sworn unto them, and Saul sought to slay them in his zeal to the children of Israel and Judah. Wherefore David said unto the Gibeonites, What shall I do for you, and wherewith shall I make the atonement, that ye may bless the inheritance of the Lord? And the Gibeonites said unto him, We will have no silver nor gold of Saul, nor of his house, neither for us shalt thou kill any man in Israel. And he said, What ye shall say that I will do for you. And they answered the king, The man that consumed us and that devised against us, that we should be destroyed from the remaining in any of the coasts of Israel. Let 7 men of his sons be delivered unto us, and we will hang them up until Yahuwah in Gibeah of Saul, whom Yahuwah did choose. And the king said, I will give them. But the king spared Mephibosheth, the son of Jonathan, the son of Saul, because Yahuwah's oath was between them, between David and Jonathan, the son of Saul. But the king took the 2 sons of Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah, whom she bare unto Saul, Armoni and Mephibosheth, and the 5 sons of Michal, the daughter of Saul, whom she brought up for Adriel, the son of Barzillai, the Meholathite. And he delivered them into the hands of the Gibeonites, and they hanged them in the hill before Yahuwah. And they all fell 7 together, and were put to death in the days of harvest, in the first 2 days in the beginning of the barley harvest. And Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah, took sackcloth and spread it for her upon the rock from the beginning of the harvest until water dropped upon out of heaven, and suffered neither the birds of the air to rest on them by day, nor the beasts of the field by night. And it was told David what Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah, the concubine of Saul, had done. And David went and took the bones of Saul and the bones of Jonathan his son from the men of Jabesh Gilead, which he had stolen them from the street of Bethshan, where the Philistines had hanged them, when the Philistines had slain Saul and Gilboa. And he brought up from thence the bones of Saul and the bones of Jonathan his son, and they gathered the bones of them that were hanged. And the bones of Saul and Jonathan his son buried they in the country of Benjamin in Zelah, in the sepulchre of Kish his father, and they performed all the king commanded. And after that Yahuwah was entreated for the land. Moreover, the Philistines had yet war again with Israel, and David went down, and his servants with him, and fought against the Philistines, and David waxed faint. And Ishbi Benob, which was of the sons of the giant, the weight of whose spear weighed 300 shekels of brass in weight, he being girded with a new sword, thought to have slain David. But Abishai the son of Zeruiah succored him, and smote the Philistine, and killed him. Then the men of David sware unto him, saying, Thou shalt no more go out with us into battle, that thou quench not the light of Israel. And it came to pass after this, that there was again a battle with the Philistines at Gob. Then Sibbecai the Hushathite slew Saph, which was of the sons of the giant. And there was again a battle in Gob with the Philistines, where Elhanan the son of Jerogam, a Bethlehemite, slew the brother of Goliath, the Gittite, the staff whose spear was like a weaver's beam. And there was yet a battle in Gath, and there was a man of great stature that had on every hand 6 fingers, and on every foot 6 toes, 24 in number. He also was born to the giant. And when he defied Israel, Jonathan, the son of Shemaiah, the brother of David, slew him. These 4 were born to the giant in Gath, and fell by the hand of David and by the hand of his servants. And that, my beautiful people, is our reading for today. It is Thursday, March the 12th, 2020, day 95, and we just finished reading 2 Samuel 19, 20, and 21. All right, y'all. So the blessing, we all know where it comes from. Yahuwah said, bless my people with this blessing, and I myself will bless them. So may Yahuwah bless us and keep us. May Yahuwah make his face to shine upon us and be gracious unto us. May Yahuwah lift up his countenance upon us and give us his peace. All right, y'all, remember, don't panic. Yahuwah is watching out for us. Remember, keep his commands, and he will continue to keep us. All right, with that being said, I love y'all, and I will see you in the morning. Bruce. Oh, remember, Passover is coming up. I'm tracking the moon, the cycles, and all this stuff with spring, and we are coming upon the new year. I know with the calendar stuff, they kind of throw us off. Oh, the new year began January 1st. No, it doesn't. Life doesn't begin with death. Life begins. The new year begins with life. A new year. A new year is dawning. Spring is the beginning of a new year. The blooming and stuff begins to happen. It's the cycle of life. So they got us all thrown off. But if we get ourselves back on Yahuwah's cycle, we still got to kind of live by the Gregorian calendar to work out here in the world. And I ain't saying just completely chuck it. Don't chuck it because, some of y'all might get fired from your jobs if you don't, fall in line. But I'm just saying, understand what's going on in the new year. Little begins in the March-April time frame. So the date is Passover is April, begins the sundown April 7th. I wrote it down, y'all. I don't remember. I have for y'all tomorrow, but it begins in that time frame. So remember, Passover is the 15th day of the month, and that's what it is. It's a full moon. So the next full moon, we will be at Passover, y'all, which is the first month of the year. So that being said, I love you all, and I'll see you in the morning. Peace.